This is the 22nd season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, AFTCO, Pro Guide Batteries, Spro, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where we are going to talk about bass fishing. Got a good show today. Working on, I need to call Mr. Omori after this. I'd love to get Takahiro Omori on to get his thoughts on his most recent BPT win this past weekend. But man, I have been on the phone more following this past Bassmaster Open with other guys who fished it, with Matt Steffen and Rick Harris, James Biggs, and a bunch of guys that I never have before. We're talking about 96 pounds that it took Pake South to win it. Just watching him on live, just absolutely crack gigantic fish. I would say it was probably one of the coolest live shows, especially just the way where Rayburn sets up. You know, you watch live fishing is an interesting sport, competitive activity, whatever you want to call it, because it takes place over such a long period of time. And a lot of times, in order to get, you know, the live going and get into the swing of things, you've got a couple guys who are catching them, guys who are filling out limits, guys who are trying to refine their fish. And Rayburn, long before Scope, has been notorious for the pull up, cast, catch, count, and mount. Like, things get going early in the morning, you take off, you roll up to your spot, the fish are set up, and the big ones are biting. And the more and more guys that I've talked to about this past Open that went down was the guys who were dialed in early, who had the baits, who had the areas. They got there and they started catching them. And it was crazy to watch it on live, to see the 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s, and almost 12s that went down in the first couple hours of the morning, and then you're hooked for the rest of the day. I was talking with our guest today, and I was like, typically after an event, after an Open that I fish, the last thing I want to do, which is dumb because you need to learn, is get on and watch how you got your ass kicked. But I could not wait after my 72nd place finish or 73rd place finish at Rayburn to get on and see how these top 10 guys caught them. And one of the guys who, I mean, for a brief period of time, Andrew Behnke had the lead on the final day. Now, in hindsight, Pake South really didn't give anybody much of a chance. 96-15. I thought legitimately I called like Matt Steffen 3 hours into the day, and I was like, dude, like, it's been a minute since someone took a run at Rojas's 45-2 record. And when Pate caught that fish over 10 and still had a 3 and a 4 and had a couple 7s in the box, I'm like, it's not out of the question that we could see it go down on live in 5 foot of water on Scope with a Koike full cast for 45 pounds. Obviously that didn't take place, and Rojas's record is safe for the time being, but set the record with 96-15. Pake South will be on BTL tomorrow, Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. We'll get to see how that all goes down. But I love how like crazy stuff happens in fishing. So I've casually known Andrew Behnke for the past 3, 4, or 5 years on the Open. Say hi to each other at the ramp, say hi to each other at the gas station or whatever, and we're talking. And I'd said on the show a couple of times, hey, if you got an interesting story, whatever, jump on BTL. And he's like, hey man, if you ever need a guest, and this was like 2 weeks ago, I said, yeah, I'm booked. Why don't you jump on after Rayburn and we'll kind of talk about the year. You know, he's been having a really solid Open season last year. When you're talking about 200 plus boats, finishing in the top 80 in 7 consecutive Opens is really hard to do. And Andrew's on like a 8 tournament streak. Now, some of those were the EQs where you couldn't finish below 80th or 100th, but he's fishing really well. And then when you know it, he goes into Rayburn, finishes in 3rd place, and catches almost a 12-pounder on the final day. and did it with a plug and a Carolina rig. So I was like, dude, we got to get you on right now. So welcome to BTL, Andrew. Thanks for pulling over in a Starbucks parking lot on your way back to, I would assume, is a very cold Wisconsin.
Thanks, man, for having me. Been a long time listener of the show. Happy to be on. Yeah, I'm headed back to Wisconsin, but I'm going to stop at Grand first and do some poking around for that.
That's probably smart. Wisconsin, are you a hockey guy? I totally forgot to mention yesterday after the golden goal by Jack Hughes, I had to sport the USA Bass hat. Obviously, the talk of the bass world. There's like 99% of people are just now figuring out that Connor Hellebuck is a big-time bass fisherman. And then I still don't think a lot of people have put the connection together that his brother Chris is a Bassmaster Opens angler and actually cashed a check in the Open on Rayburn the same day that Connor, I think they won the semifinal game to go to the gold medal game. So there's a legitimate connection there to that. Are you a hockey guy?
I mean, I love watching hockey. I never played it or anything, but it's always been one of my favorite sports to watch, especially in person. Not so much on TV, but I love going to hockey games. Who doesn't like contact sports? Like, who doesn't like that?
Yeah. So, he's with the Jets and he's always had some sort of, his US Olympic helmet had, the eagle with the bass in it and then the jumping bass on the other side. Here's what I don't think a lot of people realize. And I'll tell you what I'm about to show you and all of our listeners will send Randy Blockett into the stratosphere. So this is his Jets helmet, and he changes it. He's got some elements on it every day, and we'll see if this shows up right there. So there he is with the Jets. This was not his Olympic helmet, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So that's it. You can see the jumping bass. But if you zoom in on the jumping bass, you will see that Connor Hellebuck on his Jets helmet has a jig head minnow in the NHL, the number one goalie in the world, jig head minnow on the NHL helmet.
That is epic.
I mean, how can you go against that? American hero, number one goalie in the world, save of the century, and the guy likes to look at him and chuck a jig head minnow at him.
The man likes to catch bass, and jig head minnow's a good way to do it.
All right, let's get right into this tournament. You were on a couple minutes early, and I kept having to cut you off and say, save it for the show, because I think this could be a really educational event. We watch it on live. We watch it go down 96-15, 81-1. You finished third with 80 pounds, 4 ounces, 74-12. If you look at those standings, I think it's very obvious that there were about 30 guys that were fishing a different tournament than the other 210 guys in this tournament. Is that how you felt going in? Did you know you would be one of those 30 guys who was going to be catching mega sacks? How did practice kind of develop for this Bassmaster Open, where there was a group of guys that literally just pulled away from the rest of the pack and, quite frankly, lapped the field?
Man, my practice was not great. I mean, I caught a lot of fish, and everybody that I talked to is catching a lot of numbers. I mean, the 2 3/4, 2.5 pound bites were very plentiful. And I mean, you could go up shallow and throw a Nico worm around, and 90% of the fish you put a bait in front of bit. But I just never got that big bite in practice. I had one 6 that I caught out of a brush pile, fishing to the little fuzzy ball, the koiki. And then I had a 5.5 that I caught as well. And that's the one that kept me into that spot where I ended up weighing all my fish off of. But practice was spotty, to say the best.
All right. Sam Rayburn, 100,000 acres, sporadic grass in some places, tons of timber, 9.5 foot low, thousands of drains, a lot of tournament history on that. And for lack of a better term, on live, it looked like you were fishing a spot that had about as much cover as the surface of the moon. No offense.
There wasn't much.
We're talking lower end, some of the cleanest water on the lake, and not like, oh, it looks like giants live there. How did you end up finding that spot, getting on that spot, and ending up in a spot where you weighed in the 2 biggest bags that you've ever weighed in 27.2 and 31.14, and set your PB twice and finished third in the event?
Well, I spent a lot of time this off season just getting ready for this one. Being in Wisconsin, our water was frozen. I was done fishing because everything froze up by Thanksgiving. The Monday before Thanksgiving was the last time I got out and actually caught a bass. So I spent a lot of time looking at Google Earth, looking at my Active Captain app, and just trying to pick out areas. I mean, being from Wisconsin, I've only fished Rayburn one time before, and that was last year for the Open. Completely different conditions. Water was way up. So I just started marking things that just looked different, and some obvious stuff too, because obviously community holes hold big bass. There's a reason they're community holes. So I was checking all that stuff, and I marked that spot. I don't know when. It was sometime this winter, just to check it because it looked different. I mean, it was a main lake point and an island, and it just had what I thought was like smallmouth looking pre-spawn setup characteristics to it. I'm like, well, heck, maybe they'll set up there. I don't know. So basically, to break down the spot, it was an island, there's a saddle, and then there's a drain coming from the south to the north, and then the main lake drop off was on the other side of this saddle, going back into two spawning pockets. And in practice, I pulled up there and put the trolling motor down. And yes, I was throwing a minnow. Caught 5.5, just a floater, and it was like midday. And the next thing I know, I kind of drift up on one of the points, and I just glance down at my screen, and all I see is dots everywhere
On the bottom.
On the bottom, up in the water column, because they were set up on one of those drops, and my boat drifted over the top of them. And I looked over, and there was just big dots everywhere. And I'm like, there ain't no way that those are bass. Absolutely not. So I let that fish go. I sneak a pic real quick because there was another boat kind of close. Drop that fish back in, jump up on the front deck, find one of the bigger blobs and cast at it, let my minnow sink down to it, start shaking it, and it turns. And it starts following it. I'm like, nope, just burn it back to the boat as fast as I can. I'm like, holy crap, these are all bass. I made 3 more casts at 3 different size blobs, and every single one of them followed my bait. I'm like, I'm done. I'm leaving. I know where I'm starting. That's it.
And that's where it went down. So was that the fish that clued you in then, that you posted on your Instagram? So that was the fish you on your iPad were sitting in 2 foot of snow in Wisconsin. I find that interesting because last week, right before I left, I had Josh on, who's up there in Wisconsin or Minnesota, and Josh Douglas. And I said, dude, I need to get better with my mapping. And we went through all the different types of mapping, all the different apps that you can have on it, to where you can have your iPad and you're looking at different contours, whether it be your Navionics or your C Maps or your Lake Masters, and you're marking it. And then when you have Wi-Fi connection, you can upload it to your unit. So that waypoint was the beginning of this tournament was actually created in like December for a February tournament. Like, how many places would you say you had marked that you went and checked?
Oh man, it was I tried to hit at least probably 50 that I marked in a day. And some of them were really small drains, some of them were a little bit bigger, so it took me a little bit of time. I burned a lot of gas in practice, running around checking some stuff, but a lot of the stuff that I had marked too was out of the water, so I could just scratch that off because 9 foot low. And I had a bunch of like creek channel turns and road beds and like all sorts of other drains marked. Couldn't even get to a lot. And grass. I found some grass on Google Earth. Knew right away that all of that was completely out of the water.
Cooked.
So, yeah. So I mean, I still checked a good number of spots, stayed on the move quite a bit. And then just, yeah, man, I don't even know what else to say about it.
So you had one spot. You went into this tournament on the first morning with one spot that you thought had big fish on it, and you were riding or dying with that.
I had that and that other brush pile that I caught a 6 out of.
But I mean, there's like not 15 6-pounders in that brush pile. So you're hoping maybe you might pluck it, but you were banking on this.
Yeah, that was going to be like a 1 fish spot run there later in the day when things got tough, upgrade 1. And then honestly, probably go right back or try to find something else. But I had absolutely no idea in practice that the caliber of fish were there. Yeah. I mean, I knew I could maybe catch 20 pounds, maybe after catching a 5.5 and seeing the size of some of the other blobs that were swimming around. I knew I had that was my best shot. That spot was my best shot at having a decent tournament.
Did you get a good boat draw at least?
I was boat 10 on the first day.
God, you lucky son of a gun. I was boat 118. It's the best boat draw that I have had in 2.5 years. Well, I complained to Hank one time. I ended up like boat 40, but I was boat 118. 14 out of the last 15, I've been below 150.
Yeah. Man,
so you had to be
normally
jacked.
Where I'm at.
Like,
dude.
Was there still a part of your brain like where you were at least like, dear God, please don't let one of the 9 boats in front of me go set up on this thing?
I was, but also I'm in a Bass Cat era, so I was like, if you're running there, I'm gonna catch you.
There you go. Nice Bass Cat plug. So you come in on the first day, 21-4. I had this conversation with the guys I was rooming with afterwards. I said, man, I wonder if there was anybody that went and cracked a mid-20s bag and thought, my God, I'm sitting pretty. And then they came in and found out that they were 15 pounds out of the lead, because on that first day, there were 12 bags over 25 weighed in. So you came in, especially after that Toyota, so there were no like mega bags in that Toyota. I know they had fog. I know they can only scope for 3 hours or whatnot, but you come in with 21-4 on the first day and you're like just inside the top 30. Were you thinking that you were going to like hero bag it up on stage and be like in the top 5 after day 1? Or did you know that you still had work to do?
I knew I still had a lot of work to do. I knew where we were. And the tournament that kept coming to my mind was I think it was the Texas Team Bass Trail that was there the day before practice started last year. And those boys weighed in a 40 plus pound bag. It's like, I'm catching a 20 pound bag. I was actually very satisfied with the 30th place finish, because I thought I was going to be even lower. Not like I knew I'd be in the top 50, but I didn't think I was going to be in 30th. I knew I still had a lot of work to do.
All right. Really on day 2 is where you made your move, 27-2. Was that on just the back of a couple giants? I think in the thumbnail here, I used your day 2 picture there. I mean, that was like a lot of PBs on day 2. And I would assume Bassmaster Open, 200 boats, 27 pounds, break your personal best. Like, you're probably not thinking that there's better things to come the following day after that performance.
No, not at all. I mean, I caught that 9-4 kind of later in the day too. Like I didn't miss the morning bite. I mean, I caught a lot of fish in the morning, but I definitely didn't think that I was going to best it. I mean, if anything, I was going to catch maybe equal, but I was obviously going for more. I mean, why wouldn't you? We're bass fishermen. We're kind of greedy.
Yeah.
But I definitely didn't have, I mean, it was all God at that point, man. I mean, it was such a blessing to even catch that many fish in that one spot. And funny thing about that, the deep dive and crankbait, on day 1, when I got to my spot, I was throwing primarily a minnow. I had a limit within like 15 minutes, and I was culling well before the first half hour. But all of a sudden, they all went down, and I couldn't see. Like, you'd see a couple here and there, but they got wise quick. And I was sharing the water with Rylan, and he had lost one that was a giant. He caught an 11. I mean, obviously there's giant fish there. I'm like, why can I just can't see them anymore. And I start seeing them crawling around on the bottom. Well, as I'm thinking that, I go in the rod locker, pull out the 8XD. That's when the camera boat showed up. It's like, I'm just going to start chucking this thing around. Second cast, I catch like a 4 1/4. And then, I don't know, 3 or 4 casts later is when I catch a 6. So that's when I started locking that thing in my hand. And then on day 2, I started shaking a minnow a little bit. They were doing the same thing, kind of swerving everything I casted at them. And I just picked up that deep plug, and my first fish was a 6-6. And then I was like, I just locked it in my hand. I mean, I still caught a couple fish in a minnow, but it was like I'd shake it a couple of them. They'd do the same thing, swerve it. And then I would go right back to throwing the deep plug. So
this is some great I thought Bassmaster did a really good job of covering this tournament, because I mean, they don't have the full staff like they do for the Elite Series, but to get on it. So there you are, chucking the minnow. Camera shows up. You're worried about what people think, so you pull the big guns out and start throwing a plug because you don't want to hear. You don't want to be the wrath of all the minnow hate. Little did you know that the Koike would be the star of the show there.
Right. Yeah.
Boom. And then so this is the day 2 gallery.
Yep. That's day one.
Or that's day one, actually.
Yep. That's
on the
day
bottom
one.
there. Okay, so here's my question. I know you're buddies with Laker.
Yep.
You guys are like gym bros and fishing bros.
He's my brother. He's younger than me. I'd like to call him my little brother, but he's a lot bigger than me.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay. What's he, like 28, 27?
24.
Oh, God dang it. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on from that. So I saw that he did come in with a large satchel on day two. Like, he's already in the classic. Like, did you throw him a bone on day two? Like, did he slide in and pick off a mega out of your school and give you a little tip of the cap? Okay, no. So he was off on his own thing doing it.
Yep.
God, he's good, man. He can make.
He's
so good. So good. That takes us. So you come in after that second day, and Paik had 34. He's got 62 pounds.
Yeah.
You just came off of the best day of your life, and you're 15 pounds out of the lead.
Yep.
In a way, did that like help you, do you think, going into the final day? Like settle your nerves, know that you had nothing to lose, you couldn't fall out of the top 10, or were you bummed that like you made a career move and you, quite frankly, unless Paik like dead centers a standing tree, didn't really have a shot at this thing?
No, man. I mean, after seeing the weights, I was like, well, I don't know really if it's possible for me to climb into the lead, but it also kind of freed me up and freed my mind up to things like I can just go fish. I'm just going to go fishing. I mean, there's really no pressure at this point because he had such a demanding lead. Now, did I go into it wanting to take the lead? 100%. Man, I'm a competitor. I want to win everything I'm in. Just being realistic with myself, though, it's like I think I'm fishing for second place at best. I mean, and the way that Paik knows that place and the way he was fishing, I mean, he would be hard to catch. You literally have to have the worst day of fishing probably in his life on Rayburn.
Mm-hmm. Yes, John, this is the guy who was cracking him on the 6XD, but it was actually an 8XD.
It was an 8XD. Yep.
Not a 6XD, but yes,
Nope.
This is Andrew. This is why this was a perfect BTL to have on. All right, so let's get to the final day. We're going to pull up a little video. I think you know what's happening here.
Oh, yeah.
Now. We got to get back to the lean it. So let's just roll it and walk me through this. So it looks like before you hook up, you're throwing an 8XD, but that thing is digging into the bottom.
Yep. I'm digging a trench with that thing. I was burning it as fast as I could. I have that rod like tucked into my arm. That right there, throwing a deep plug like that, that's why I go to the gym so dang much. Because it would wear you out if you don't have the right equipment and you're not just ready to throw that thing all day. You'll be gassed. I mean, what's
your deep plug setup? Feel free. Hit the sponsors, give them the plugs, line, rod, reel, the whole 9 yards.
Well, the rod, it's a discontinued rod. It's like a 7'8", just a deep cranking rod. It's a Daiwa Tatula 200.
Okay.
It was 12-pound line.
12. So you're cranking with light line up there, banging it off the bottom.
I wanted to get it down, and I think too, just being from up north, I am very comfortable with light line. I contemplated putting on 10, but also with the stuff that was on the bottom and just the caliber of fish that live in Rayburn, I was like, I'm just gonna go with 12, just because.
Okay.
But swapped out the hooks with owner treble hooks.
That's a vintage KVD move.
Yep. Yeah. I grew up watching
reel?
Kevin. No,
is that why you did it? Did you do it because Kevin swaps it out?
No, just because, I don't know. It's a thing. It's a confidence thing when it comes to hooks.
And then
they just got to be sticky
reel
sharp.
or slow, a high speed reel, or was it like a 6.3?
It was a 6.3.
Okay.
6.3 size 200, bigger handle to definitely make it easier to crank.
Okay. So at this point right here, you're 15 pounds out of the lead. You got a Bassmaster Live. You're about 9 first form energy drinks in.
About, yep.
Which I'll ask you about later. So, like, at this point right there, like, when did you realize that this is probably the biggest fish you'll ever catch in a tournament?
I didn't realize it was the biggest fish I'd ever catch in a tournament until I got it next to the boat, honestly.
Really? So it wasn't like, it didn't feel like, I mean, we're talking, what was it, 11, 14?
11, 14, yep.
So,
I knew it was big as soon as I swung into her. and all I felt was head shake. I'm like, oh, that's got some weight to it.
Knew it was a bass.
Yep. No question in my mind.
Like no scoping. Like you just knew that you were casting up, and I'm assuming that you were looking for active fish first thing in the morning up here, and you were kind of, I guess, like taking a hack at it. I hate the term swinging for the fences, but like you knew that there was a chance you were going to get a fastball down the middle, and you wanted to make sure that you had the right launch angle.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was your typical crank and bite. Once I figured out the angle of the cast, I mean, before this fish, I don't know how many fish I had caught, but it was almost every cast for a while. And I knew I had the cast down. It was just a matter of time until you get a bigger bite. I had to weed through a lot of small ones. I did catch one almost 7 slightly before that too. So I knew that they were sitting there. And
there's a spot right there. I know probably 50 guys that drove past that in the open and went, man, these hard spots sure don't look like hard spots when they're out of the water. I did that with about 10 spots on the lake where I knew it'd be out of the water, and I just wanted to go and see where I'd caught them in the past. And I would be like, this looks like crap. And I remember Keith Combs on live said the same thing too. He's like, you'd roll up on stuff that you've caught them on for years and years. And I'm not saying I'm a Rayburn expert or anything. It just so happens we go there a lot of times of the year. And I'll catch them in a spot and be like, oh, I found me a hard spot. Cause that's what all the cool kids say on Rayburn. And then you go back and look at it and you're like, no shell, no gravel, no rock, slick clay, sand,
looks like dirt,
gravel. You're like, oh, okay. So anyway, that's the spot that it all came out of. So you can see, I mean, it's just like kind of barren, maybe just some stumps right there. So like at this point you have to know it's big.
Oh yeah. As soon as she came up like that, I knew it was big. Like,
could you tell when it came up that it was stuck pretty good, or were you like, not on a plug?
Dude, what's crazy is like I never even questioned the fact that like it wasn't hooked good, because everything that I had caught to that point was T-boning it. Like they had both treble hooks, they were just eating it. So I just played it out. I didn't try to horse it at all. It just kept hooks coming at me, small cranks here and there, not trying to horse it, just play it out real gentle, let that rod do a lot of the action for me. Just keep it loaded, don't put too much pressure, and just like here I'm saying, let her do circles, because I knew if she starts doing circles by the boat, I got her.
Was there any fear right there when you saw that it was just one little treble in the top lip?
Yes. Because right there was when the freak out started in my head. Like, you need to grab this fish now, because I thought that other hook was at least in the top of her head and it just popped free. I'm like, nope. And that's when I just went for the belly grab on it. It's like, I'm not even going to try and lip this fish. Just get your hands on her.
And previously, the biggest fish you'd ever caught was the day before, which was a 9.
Yep.
Previously, before that, what was your PB?
8.5.
Okay, so you're looking at a fish that's 3 pounds bigger than your PB on the final day in the first hour of a Bassmaster Open with the Classic and 60K on the line.
Yep.
That had to be a pretty wild feeling.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of that disappeared, and I'm just like, get this fish in the dang boat.
Was it one of those things? So I caught my first 11 this year in Mexico, which some people say doesn't count, but
it still
I remember
counts, man. That's a big
when
fish.
that fish came up, and it was an 11-11, and yours is an 11-14. But I've caught several 10s before that.
Yep.
But I remember when I saw that fish with nothing on the line, like 8 Pacificos deep in Mexico, sun shining, doesn't matter if I lose it. It's still a great story. Life is good.
Yeah.
The feeling that I had inside of how much bigger this fish was than any other fish I'd ever seen in my life. Did you had that same feeling when you saw the actual like girth and size of it?
When I saw her starting to do circles next to the boat, that's actually when I realized how big that fish was. Because the day before I caught that 9, and I mean, I knew that was the biggest fish I had ever seen too, but it wasn't hooked very good. I think I was freaking out more for that one than I was for this one, because the one that I caught on day 2 was just hooked on the side of the head, like she slapped at it, and I chased her down with the trolling motor for, I don't know, probably a good 3 minutes, just kind of let her do her thing. And this one, I mean, she honestly kind of came to the boat fairly easy.
Yeah,
but it was still very nerve-wracking right here as she starts to turn.
So it's like right here where my mouse is. There's your eyes,
Yep.
There's the rod, and right now you're seeing the girth across the back of this fish going, okay, we're dealing with a different type of animal.
Yep. I knew right there is like, this is a giant. Just get her here.
I also feel like right here, you're right. It does have the second set of treble hooks in that fish, because otherwise the plug would be more towards you. So the hook pops out on this turn, which is crazy scary.
Yep. It popped out at the boat. Right before I grabbed her is when that hook popped out. And that was what, right there.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So you're going for the scoop.
Dude, it's a blessing. My hand was right there when it needed to be. And I just pull her right to the boat and just grab her. And right then I'm like, holy smokes.
Just a big bug-eyed fish right there.
Yep. It was a bug-eyed beauty, man. That was, what a blessing, dude.
I can't remember. Did you say what it weighed on live? I feel like
I said it was an 11.
Okay. I feel like there's an epidemic of young pros who like to weigh large fish on live and then not tell the cameraman what it weighs. And it drives me nuts watching live when they're like, oh, that's a good one. And then they stuff it in the box. And you're like, dude, when I'm by myself, I'm like 3.7 or 5.
Yep.
Like no one there to even say it. And I say what it is. Like no one says it on Bassmaster Live, what it actually weighs on the scale.
Yep. I might have sandbagged just a little bit. But it did say 1180 on my scale, but the only thing that I was really focused on was the first number. I'm like, oh, that's an 11.
Did you think it then that like you got a shot to win this thing?
Yep. See, like right then and there, that's when 40 pounds became possible to me. Knowing that those fish were there. And like I said, Ryland caught an 11 there. He lost one. The first fish that I saw him hook on day one was bigger than, he said it was bigger than the one that he caught. So like, I'm thinking there's 40 pounds swimming here. All I got to do is keep going. So like, yeah, I stuffed that fish in the box as quick as I could, called out as quick as I could, and got right back to it.
How far after was this fish then? After that 12?
I'm trying to think.
Because I mean, it still looks like the sun's a little bit higher, but it still looks like it's kind of low light conditions. That's another big one.
Is that I think this one might have been before.
Oh, it's
or if this is the one. No, I think this is the 5. This one had me freaked out because I saw that it only had one hook. Yeah, this is the 5-pounder. I saw that one only had one hook, and I was it? Nope, that's not the same one. That's a different one.
That's what a problem. What a problem to have. You know,
hey man, I'm not complaining about it at all.
All in all, is this a third place that you're happy with? No regrets, nothing, like you just got outpaced by Pake South?
Yep, 100%, man. I got beat. I mean, I didn't beat myself. I did everything that I could. I improved every single day. I fished my tournament, did the best that I could with what I had. I mean, I literally had one area that I was going to compete in and come in third place. I'm very satisfied with it. Or not, I shouldn't say that, because obviously I want to win. But I'm happy with it. Definitely happy with it.
You hear guys who have, something crazy happen, and they're like, you go out, you have belief in yourself. You wouldn't be out here if you didn't think that you could compete at least. But there's certain things that happen in guys' careers. You talk to them about it, whether it's a win or a comeback or they make the classic or something where they're like, okay, I'd visualized it, but it happened. I know it's possible now. And it changes their entire outlook for the rest of their career because they've had that moment that they can look back on that they've learned from.
100%.
Do you have any feeling about that after you've caught a 12 and a low 30s pound bag in the open? Like, even though you didn't win, do you think that this will change you as an angler moving forward in competition, kind of knowing what is or isn't possible?
Yeah, I believe so. It's such a boost in confidence. And bass fishing is such a confidence sport. You have to have confidence in yourself. And it just, it confirms my confidence in myself. I mean, I've always known that I can compete at this level. So I just needed something. I just needed a break. And this just happened to be it. I've been grinding at it for a while. Like I just absolutely love bass fishing, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with this sport. But like I said, like I just needed something like this to happen to be like, you can do this. You're fine. Just keep going, keep trucking, keep working.
I want to dive into that because you're like the quintessential AAA grinder. I know you fished the pro circuit for a year or something, but I mean, you're one of these guys who's all in, who's sacrificing personal life, professional life to try to make this dream reality. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll kind of dive into that personal side of what it's like. Like I said, you're doing the interview 10 hours from home, headed up to the snow in Wisconsin. You got a quick turnaround, another tournament. So talking with third place in the recent Bassmaster Open on Sam Rayburn, Andrew Behnke. Every once in a while we get like one of those deals where we get to do like a fish breakdown. I love doing the catch breakdowns. Like I love being able to pause it and analyze I love doing those breakdowns with the guys and knowing what's going through their head. Like that, I get that maybe like 5-6 times a year with guys who are like all in on kind of analyzing what the catch was.
Dude, it's fun to relive it.
Yeah,
it really is.
Well, it's hard. Yeah, I would imagine. It's BTL on a Tuesday. We'll be back right after this.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS from Basscat. Feel the rush.
When I'm in a tournament, conditions are constantly changing and every second matters. With the Deep Dive app, I can instantly pull up all the current lake conditions all in one spot. So no more looking at weird government websites. In just one quick glance, I have water clarity, water level, wave forecast. It's all right there in the Deep Dive app. Download the Deep Dive app and get all the tools you need to put together an awesome tournament.
Before there were hashtags, there were handshakes and shared stories. They gave us confidence to make our first cast and chase our dreams. They taught us to fish, and in the process, taught us about life. They taught us that success isn't just about reaching the top. It's about lifting others up. The future isn't just about selling tackle. It's about 3 simple words. Let's go fishing. Here's to the original influencers.
At Beatdown Outdoors, we know you depend on your gear to hold up in any condition. We built for that. We test for that. In fact, we pride ourselves in that. Because we know when the time comes to test your gear, you aren't going to take it easy, so we won't. We build premium, made-in-the-USA products that you can rely on in the moments when your equipment should be the last thing on your mind.
All right, welcome back, BTL on a Tuesday, talking with Andrew Behnke. You're like, I want to say, you did a bunch of BFLs, then fished, 22, 23, pro circuit, 23, and then all in on the Opens the last couple years. This is your third year. You said, you're 34 years old?
33. Yep.
33, sorry.
Yes, sir.
I know once you hit those 30, you don't want to give you an extra year there. It's
no,
crazy how it starts going faster. But you're 4 or 5 years into this journey, and you happen to pick the 4 or 5 years where it has changed the most rapidly in the 65-year history of this sport. Did you have like a moment when you turned 30 where you were like, hey, I've wanted to do this and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get out there? How did you end up? I mean, you're not one of these guys who started doing this at this level when you were in your early 20s, like we see seems to be the trend now. I mean, you were 30 and said, you know what, let's go travel for 15 weeks out of the year.
Yep. Well, man, I grew up around bass fishing. My mom worked for Mercury. She was the manager of competitive angling.
Oh, wow.
For a long time. So I traveled around to all the tournaments, a lot of saltwater stuff too. My first fishing tournament was actually a saltwater tournament, fishing for king mackerel. And I've just always loved tournament fishing. I fished around home a bunch. but I mean, growing up around the sport, it's always something that I've dreamed of doing at the highest level. So when I finally had the means, like in my early 20s, like I was working full time, and then I decided to go back to school to be a firefighter paramedic. And simply, like, I just didn't have the means to do it like all the guys that are coming into now. Which, I mean, I have absolutely no shade towards anybody doing it. I mean, as long as you can get out here and do it, do it. You have the means to do it. You want to do it, do it. I just didn't have the means to do it at that age, you know? So I just had to wait until I could. And as soon as I could, I jumped into it head first.
And then, see, I always thought you were a Florida guy. Because he had
the
that
Florida Rap Pros.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, excuse me. No, I'm from Wisconsin, but I do work with Florida Rap Pros. They're really good people. They do a phenomenal job with the raps. And it just so happened the first year that I worked with them, we were starting on Okeechobee. So it worked out. I went down there a couple weeks early, got out of the frigid, freezing, frozen tundra of Wisconsin. Gives me a good reason to go to the Sunshine State early.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked out great. And ever since then, I was like, yeah, I will make this trip down here because for the same reason, it gets me out of Wisconsin in January.
It's a lot of firefighters, paramedics that are in that it seems like are in the fishing game. I mean, my head obviously goes to Greg Gutierrez out there on the West Coast, who was a firefighter on the Elite Series, catches giants, got the, just like you, got the firefighter mustache going.
Yeah. This is a little bit better. I will say that. It was a little more full. I'm working on it though.
Josh Giraldi, who's from Canada. He's a firefighter up in Canada. My buddy James Biggs, who I work with, I think he just retired, but he's a firefighter there. Like, actually, when I first started dating my wife, he's like, hey, bring her by the firehouse. It's a slow night tonight. We'll go for a little spin in the truck and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It worked too. I still got her.
Yes. You got the ring.
But the way I see it, like, you bust your ass for weeks and weeks and weeks to like be able to take off for the weeks to fish. At least those guys that I know I talk to would be like, hey, I'm pulling doubles. I'm filling in for other guys. I'm picking up extra shifts. I'm finagling it. So like, you're able to get these weeks off, but are you putting in like just ridiculous hours when you're actually like back just to get to the point where you can go crank up a 12?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I spend a lot of time in the off season at the firehouse, trades with people, even on our breaks this year from the regular season opens to the EQs through the summer. I'll be at the firehouse a ton, just helping guys out. Plain and simple, I couldn't do what I do without the folks at the firehouse. That Fond du Lac Fire Rescue that pull trades for me, work with me a ton. I couldn't do this without them. Like, we only get so much vacation. We only get so much time off. I couldn't do it without them. So,
were they watching? Like, did they have that thing pulled up on the TV, watching it at the firehouse while it was on live?
That was probably a couple of the coolest text messages that I got, is that all 3 firehouses in Fond du Lac, they had live pulled up and they were watching it. That was just really cool to see, because I'm normally the guy when live is on, I'm grabbing the remote and I'm turning it on.
But they're going, come on, Andrew, we watch fishing like, every single week.
Like, we got to watch bass fishing this morning, man. Come on. And the other week it was like, man, Olympic curling is on. We want to watch that. I'm like, are you serious? They're on Gunnersville right now. It's like,
and you also got really lucky that it was Saturday morning and not Sunday morning for the Olympic hockey game. So like you had that Saturday morning time slot dialed in. Like, if it had been Sunday morning, like, no one would have seen that live. Sorry. No. I mean, quite frankly, everyone would be watching US-Canada.
Everyone watching it. Yeah, 100%, man. They would all be watching the hockey game.
But what are your thoughts on how it's changed? Like I said, I mentioned you got into it when the sport was changing at the most. Are you a fan of how rapidly it's changing? Have you found, like, are you able to get sponsors? Is there money in it for the guys that don't have the wins but are grinding it out in there? Do you think you're in it at the toughest time it's ever been to try to become a professional angler? Just kind of your thoughts overall in the middle of it from the landscape.
I will say it's not easy. I mean, it's a lot more off the water work. With social media, keeping up with that. I mean, I want to keep all my partners happy and do everything that I can to give them the exposure that they want, need, anything that I can help with, that's what I want to do. As far as like the technology and stuff goes, I mean, everybody's just so much more of an efficient fisherman. I mean, that's what I think. Like, some people say these lakes are getting so tough. It's like, yeah, because we're actually dropping baits on their head now. You know, like, we're not just fan casting around nearly as much. You're putting the bait where the fish are. We're learning so much. I mean, I learn so much every single time I'm out on the lake, just following these fish around and seeing what their actual characteristics are. I mean, I've been reading Bassmasters like forever, you know, and like they should be every single thing that, like, I just remember I'd be like, I set up on this secondary point with this creek channel swing. Like, there should be a fish here and you're not catching anything. It's like, well, yeah, the bass don't read the magazines. Like, well, yeah, that's because they're pulled off of it chasing the bait ball that's right in front.
I will say, though, out of all the lakes that we go to, like, Rayburn is exceptionally close to, like, quote, textbook bass fishing.
Yeah,
like, just the way it's set up, like they're where you read that they should be. They're like, they might be off chasing baits, but like, of all the lakes you go to, like Rayburn, they set up like a Bassmaster magazine article more so than any other lake that we go to. I believe so.
Yeah, 100%. I'd agree to that. I would definitely agree. They relate to structure just like it. I mean, especially in this pre-spawn time, it's pretty not stereotypical. I guess that's not the right word for it, but like, it's what you read in the magazine is what the fish are doing.
Yeah. Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do. It's Andrew Behnke. Behnke Bass Fishing.
Are you gonna have recaps up on this?
Yes, I will. Yeah, I got a lot of media to catch up on. I've been on the go nonstop. We went to Toledo on Sunday, fished there for the day. Laker and I did, and then I went to Lake Fork yesterday, and now I'm on my way to Grand today. So
to look around.
Yes, sir.
There it is, right there. Andrew Behnke. You have a bunch of the all your stuff from the EQs, the videos. How so do you travel with Laker, room with Laker on all the opens?
Yep. We've been traveling together since, well, we traveled to the same tournaments for the Toyota Series in 22. I mean, I've known Laker for
How'd you meet him?
Well, my mom worked with Randy and Robin.
Oh yeah, Randy likes to go fast, and he's with Mercury.
He was with Mercury, yep. So I met them a long time ago. They've known me since I was like knee high to a grasshopper, little guy. And I do remember they were up fishing the BPT in Sturgeon Bay. And I had a tournament coming up on just a small lake, Shawano Lake, around the house. And I asked Randy, like, hey, it's your off day. Do you want to jump in this tournament with me? He's like, well, I can't, but Laker's coming up. He's driving my boat and truck up. Like, I'm sure he'd fish with you. And so I just went up to their house, picked him up, went over to Shawano, fished a tournament together, and we've been at it ever since.
I don't know how to ask this. I'm going to just straight up ask it.
Yeah.
Is it tough? Like, you've had a lot of top third finishes over the last couple of years, which if you're not in the game, you're like, If you're in it, you know how tough it is to string together top third finishes and beat 60% of the field consistently. Like, you have a really good tournament and you're still 50th, 60th.
Yep.
Is it tough watching, or is it inspiring, or what is that dynamic like? Because Laker's been on an absolute freaking tear. I mean, he's won like 3 of the last 6 and come in with mega bags in like half of the tournaments and would be on the Elite Series had it not been for the 58th in the first EQ there.
Yeah. No, it's encouraging to say the least. I'm just so happy for him. He's doing good. The man puts in the work. He fishes a ton of tournaments. He's on the road nonstop. He puts in the work. He grinds hard. He does a lot for his sponsors. And if anything, I mean, he's been super encouraging for me. He's been a huge supporter of me, obviously. He's like my best friend. He's my brother, you know. We had our whole crew that we traveled with for the Invitationals. It was Laker, Andrew Nordby, Ethan Green, the Robinsons. I mean, all of them. I mean, we're all like family. And I just love seeing my really close best friends, Bass family, do well. Just makes me want to do well also.
A couple more questions and I'll let you go.
Yeah.
I unfortunately am a Red Bull guy, which I don't think I'm at risk of a Red Bull sponsorship here, but I don't know how healthy the Red Bull is. I saw your Yeah. So I saw your whatever trash can, the thing in between. Basscat doesn't have like a built-in trash can, so you basically have to take either have like your own box or pick a cooler to be your trash can cooler, which I use the under the seat in the middle of the seat too, which it looked like is what you use as well.
Yep.
But it appeared like you're like what, 6.5% body fat?
I don't know. I think I'm a little bit more, maybe.
But I wouldn't expect someone in that good a shape to drink that many energy drinks. Do I need to be switching to First Form? Because I feel like you wouldn't be pounding those if they were imminently bad for your health.
You definitely need to switch to First Form or Form Energy. Form Energy for sure, all the way. It doesn't have all the crap and the gunk that Red Bull has in it. You definitely need to look into Form Energy. They got a ton of different flavors. They're always dropping new flavors. 250 milligrams of caffeine. So it'll get you moving. It'll get you moving quick compared to a Red Bull, which only has like 80. And this doesn't have all the gunk in it.
Oh, that's why I drink like 3 or 4 of them.
Yep. You're not getting it. You're not getting that really up and go like you need.
Can you get those at like gas stations and stuff, or is that something you got to order?
Yep.
Am I just looking them over in the energy section just because I haven't tried them and now I'm aware of it? I don't know if they sponsor you or not. I have absolutely no idea, but like I'm aware of that energy drink now because of you drinking it on the water.
Yeah.
So I will 100% purchase it. So if you are sponsored by them and First Form is aware of that, then then First Form is selling their product because they're hooking you up with their product and you're doing a good job of representing them.
I appreciate it, man. I've been working with them for, I think it's been 3 or 4 years now.
Okay.
First Form Outdoors, Form Energy is their energy drinks. I also eat a ton of their level 1 bars, which is a protein bar. It's 20 grams of protein, 260.
It is First Form or it's just Form?
Their energy is Form Energy. But it's a collaboration. Form Energy is. But First Form is the company that started it.
Let's see. Is that the website?
That's the website. Yep.
Okay. So I want to go down to energy drinks then.
Yep. And they're coming out with a Texas can too. So
what does that mean?
It's just going to have Texas logos on it. They did it last year too. It's
anything with the Texas logo on it sells. People in Texas love Texas love buying stuff to remind themselves that they live in Texas, and people outside of Texas love buying stuff to remind other people that they went to Texas.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%.
All right. That was my other
hold
question.
Hold on. Just 1 second. Just 1 second.
Can you pull up a little farther? They need to get in that trash can.
Sorry. I guess I'm parked in front of.
Well, we're about to wrap it up, but that was kind of my only question on that was.
No, man. I would definitely look into it. They have a ton of other products as well. I mean, Form Energy is their energy drinks. Like I was saying, the level 1 bars are protein bars. And I'm a workout guy. I mean, I was an athlete before. I'm always in the gym. I mean, that's how I spend a lot of my off season, not just for the health benefits, but for the mind, so I don't go wild being all cooped up in the middle of the wintertime. So I use a ton of their nutritional products, their proteins, pre-workouts. They're not multivitamins. They got a product called Microfactor. It's a pill packet, just like micronutrients and all that. I take all their products. Help me a lot in everything that I'm trying to do.
There you go. Anything else that you want to get in here before I let you go? Like I said, I've pulled over to do shows before on the side of the road, and I always like them, but then I'm always like, damn, that set me back an hour and a half. So I can't thank you enough.
No, absolutely, man. I just want to say a huge thanks to all my sponsors. I mean, I work with a ton of awesome people: Basscat, Mercury, Power Pole.
Yeah. What cat are you running?
Era.
All right. I think I'm going with the 27, the new Lynx.
Are you?
Yeah.
It's a sweet looking ride, man.
We'll see. I think it should be around June sometime when I get to roll into the 27 one.
There you go. Yeah.
Do you like that era? That's one of the only. I think that's like the only model that I haven't ran in the past 7 years.
I absolutely love this boat. I love it. It's like a sports car.
Yeah.
Dude, once you spend some seat time in it and you get your setup right, you know, I got like the Pro Guide batteries in the back, all Garmin electronics. Like, I mean, it is the ultimate bass fishing setup for anything you want to do. I take this thing out on the Great Lakes. My confidence never wavers whatsoever. I've taken it up. I mean, I run the Mississippi River. I've run smaller rivers with it. It turns like a sports car. It's fast. it's an awesome platform to fish out of.
What Pro Guide setup are you running in the back? That was like my biggest decision on what lithium setup to go with in the Puma.
So I'm running 236 volt alphas paralleled for the trolling motor. I have an AGM, a 31 AGM for cranking, and then I have
so you're still an AGM guy. Is that just a peace of mind deal, or why the AGM?
Rick Pierce does it, so I figured it's probably a smart thing for me to do.
This is the first one that I went with the lithium. I've had no issues with it because I'm running the Pro Guide Charger as well too. But you have the new parallel 30 or the new parallel trolls that I think mine are last generation just because they're like a year and a half old. But then they come out with a new one that are like super smart batteries with the apps and all that stuff.
Those alphas are legit, man. They are awesome batteries. Yeah, I have had zero issues with them whatsoever. More power than you know what to do with. I don't need to charge that thing for a long time. And I run a power pole charge as well, so that definitely helps keep the juice in them too. And then for the electronics, I'm running a 31. I think it's the 31 M150. Nothing, just the 12 volt. Not running the 16 or anything like that. C-Clear power harness to everything. It's an awesome platform, man. Bass Boat Technology mounts. I know you're sponsored by Beat.
Oh no, I'm totally fine like that. Like all my sponsors understand that like there's not just one company out there in the world. Right. There's a bunch of guys that make great stuff, and that's what makes the world go round.
Yeah, yep. I love their mounts. I mean, they're rock solid. So
I cut you off halfway through. I know you were thanking some of your other guys. I know this is all good. Important. So I didn't want to cut you off on anything.
No, I think the only ones that I missed: Grundon's, Missile, Texoma Tackle. I got a couple places back home. Fresh Fit Cafe is one of them that helps me out a ton.
You're sponsored by a cafe.
I am.
Do you get free dinners when you roll in there?
Yep. They hook me up.
Do you know the owner? Or do you just roll in blind and we're like, hey?
I think they just see me there so dang much. They're like, yeah, we can help this guy out.
I love it. A cafe.
Yeah. They make phenomenal food. It's all like fresh ingredients. It's better for you.
In Wisconsin, I'm assuming?
Yes, sir.
Dude, there are so many cafes in like Minnesota and Wisconsin, like that home family run cafe where like I'm always like a little bit intimidated to go into those cafes because you're sitting in someone's seat.
Yeah,
like
you're the odd man.
Especially if you're there early in the morning, like when you sit down and someone looks at you that you're like, oh, he's sitting in Bill's seat. Bill's gonna be pissed when he walks in 5 minutes because he sat there for the last 37 years every single Saturday morning.
Yeah, this one isn't quite like that. It's not super cliquey. It's just a lot of people that are really into fitness, a little more not self-conscious, health conscious. But it's not quite so bad. But yeah, there's quite a few regulars. I think I'm one of them.
Does it shock you how many people that fish competitively do not take care of their health?
Yes.
I mean, I would be one of them. I'm like Red Bull, Coors Light, steak, repeat 6 times.
Yep. But it all comes down to convenience. And that's one of the things that First Form is really doing is trying to make the healthy and fitness oriented lifestyle like efficient for everybody, easier to maintain, or not easier to maintain, but easier to obtain, which is why they come out with all the on the go products. They have hydration sticks that are just in little packs. You just add them to a bottle of water to keep you hydrated, to give you the electrolytes. Like they're doing a lot of cool things to try and make it easier for people with an on the go and active lifestyle to live a healthy and active
You got
lifestyle.
A code? Is there a code you can throw out? So if anybody wants to try it,
I have a link that I can send. It's not a code, but it's just a link. You can go on to my page. I have a Beacons link on the top of my Instagram. You can click on that and then just click on the First Form tab and it'll take you to the website.
There you go.
So,
Andrew, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Congratulations.
Man.
Congratulations on the 3rd place. And I will see you at Grand Lake, which wild card going to be.
I know.
And, are we going to be looking at them? Are we going to be flipping them out of the willows, out of the bushes? Are we going to be post spawning them? Is it going to be a topwater deal? It could be a crank bite. It could be clear. It could be muddy. There could be flow. It could be race to your spot and jack 5-pounders off beds. Like, I mean, it literally is that.
It's wide open.
2-week period of the year where I don't think we'll know what we're in for until we actually get there.
No, it's wide open, man. That's why I'm going there. I've been there before. I fished an open there in 21, but that was in the fall, so obviously things were a little bit different. But I just want to kind of ride around and see if I can find anything a little bit different. Get ready for it. But
all right,
I'll probably see you at the Classic.
Oh yeah.
I will be there. I'll be in the Mercury booth. I'll be in the Missile booth. I'll be at the Pro Guide booth, Power Pole, Garmin. I'll be bouncing all over the place at the Classic.
Yeah,
but helping out a lot in the Mercury booth.
John's that new ring jig head that John has is pretty badass.
It's awesome, man. The cool part about that ring jig head is you can put any minnow on it and it'll shake it perfectly. Like you can get some minnows to straight up flip over almost.
Yeah.
And they got the Freedom Flyer out now too. That's they have the 4.25. They're coming out with one bigger than 6 inches. That thing's going to be money.
Is that what Hartman was chucking at Gunnersville? Yep. I think. Yeah.
Yep. I think it was the live minnow is the color he was throwing.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of like a purple hue to it. Some with bass and purple. I don't know what it is, but they love it.
I apparently also love 8XDs in about 8 foot of water.
Yes, they do.
Drive safe. Congratulations, man.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
All right. See ya. All right. There you go. Andrew Behnke. Really cool story there. Like I said, I already planning on getting him on the show before. And then I said, hey, we got to make this happen. ASAP, strike while the iron is hot, so to speak. So we'll take a final break of the show. When we come back, we got a lot of stuff going on BTL. We have 1, 2, 3. It's Tuesday. We still have 4 or 5 more live shows, plus more information on the Fishing Chaos BTL tournament to support St. Jude that you can be a part of. We'll talk about that when we come back. It's BTL on a Tuesday, February 24th. We'll be back after this.
As a professional angler, there's only one thing that connects you to your paycheck. Probably the most crucial part to tournament bass fishing. I use Sunline because they have a line for every application. Shooter, FX2, All Might, super light line, big stuff, big sticks. Sunline has you covered.
Sharp as can be. Super strong, super durable.
Really good penetration.
Thinner and stronger.
Catch fish after fish.
I want to make sure that I'm using the best stuff possible.
World's finest hook. World's finest hook.
Gamakatsu, world's finest hook.
I fish in some of the worst elements across the country. Spring, that's a giant, dude. Summer, oh my gosh. Hi, look at that thing. Winter, it's so cold. And fall, got a big one, that's awesome. Being comfortable and staying dry is the only option. AFCO, any fish, any water.
Your early morning mentality is your every hour mentality. All gas, no brakes. Focus, purpose, power. Destined for the water, but confident everywhere else. A calming buzz before the storm, truth of nature itself. You can't catch lightning in a bottle. There's a limit out there, but it's not with your gear. Unrelenting power delivery, unparalleled weight savings, keeping you on the water whether you run a 9.9 or outscoping your best 5. In this rare air, there's power in the silence. It's a mindset, thinking only of the things that matter and freeing your mind from the things that you trust.
All right, welcome back. Wrapping things up here. All right, I said I got a bunch going on. Let me see if I can get all of this right. Tomorrow evening, Wednesday, 7 p.m., special show, Frank Scalish We're going to have some cervezas, and we're just going to be chatting with the listeners. If you've had any questions for day 4, if you want to chat with Frank about colors, baits, tactics, cold water, warm water, anything, Frank and I are just going to be on. We're also going to try, I haven't even ran this by him yet, we're also going to try to get Frankie Jr. on. Maybe Frank can do a little bit of a breakdown. Frankie, top 55 finish there in the Opens. He jumped in at 2, so that's going to be a live show tomorrow evening. Tomorrow morning, Pake South, record breaker for the Bassmaster Opens, 96 pounds. Also, Elite Series rookie, fresh off a top 10 in his last Elite Series tournament. He is going to be on to break down how he got the job done. So that's 2 shows tomorrow. Also, after the show today, Best on Tour this week with Dave Rush drops that breaks down all of the goings-ons, including maybe a little preview of the NPFL championship that's coming up. 41 guys, Smith Lake, no FFS. That kicks off in a couple days. And then tonight, 7 p.m., CTL episode 4. There's some guys that are listening to CTL. It's how to catch crappie this time of the year for guys who bass fish. With Zeke Anderson, he's pro crappie guy, has been in the crappie game forever. This is actually a casting show. So we were on the water casting to schools of hundreds of 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-inch crappie, kind of break down the double rig, hair jigs versus plastic, casting with 7.5-foot rod, 6-pound test line. So that's already in the queue, ready to go for tonight. Then Thursday morning, Frank Scalish, live, regularly scheduled programming. Day 4, he's going to drop a teaser. You're going to get the first look at his new color for March that will drop on lurenet.com. And then Thursday afternoon, Austin Cranford in studio, Elite Series rookie. We'll have video clips in studio to break down the first 2 Elite Series stops of the year. Lake Martin, where he cashed a check, Lake Gunnersville, where he almost finished last. But one of the cool things is he's got a good attitude about it. He knows that not every single tournament is going to be a banger, but he is bringing in clips to where you can learn from what he's done good, what he's working on, what he knows he needs to work on, and then filming the next CTL. We're going after a 3-pounder on Friday. You guys won't get to see that. And then I'm fishing a derby with my boy Juice from Juice's Jigs on Saturday, but I think we're going to roll the cameras. If you guys have not had a chance to catch it up, here's the BTL channel right here. You can scroll down. There we are. We're live right there. You can scroll down on all the replays. This is the 2026 season. It is a new series that I'm doing this year for the Bassmaster Opens. It's pretty raw. Like, there's no music to try to make me sound like more of a badass than I'm not. But I'm mic'd up. It's just a 30-minute video that goes through my entire day. Yes, in the tournament, I did do some screen recording on the live scope. You can go through and watch that stuff. I also, believe it or not, look at this school of fish, though. This was a crazy school, like what Behnke was talking about, except they were all small. So, like, he talks about pulling up the plug. I pulled out the plug, caught it, kind of goes through the whole thing. Big fish. If you're interested in, that was the fish of the tournament for me right there. If you're interested in watching that, just kind of seeing what I do on the water. I did it for so many years with AFCO Bass Boot Camp and through Bass Talk Live. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring it back. Kind of helps me settle down a little bit, actually, and just kind of talk through the decisions that you make on the water and then look back in hindsight and learn from it. This sport is all about learning. I will say one of the crazy things about the last 3 years is how fast and how much information there is out there from other people who are doing really good jobs on YouTubes, on TV shows, on their channels, on their podcasts, what they're doing, from anglers who are putting out stuff, from the live coverage. There's never been more information about bass fishing. And I really appreciate the folks who choose to get it from BTL. But yeah, I'm recording that on Saturday with Juice. It'll basically just be 8 hours of me busting Juice's chops from Juice's Jigs. He's also going to be at the Bassmaster Classic. I think he's splitting a booth with Willie Peets, local guy here who does some amazing glide baits, unfortunately, he's kind of caught in between that. Like, guys are using the Willie Pete's glide and then not really chatting about it because they want to keep it close to the vest. But Willie Pete's, Juice's jigs, they'll be at the Bassmaster Classic. You can get on their social media to see it. But I'm fishing with Juice, so you'll get to see a video of the interaction. I'm an only child, but everyone says if I had a brother, that's what the relationship would be like with Juice. But I don't think we've ever filmed a tournament together, so it could be very interesting. All right, final thing, definitely not last, fishingchaos.com. This is what it looks like if you're on your PC. You can also get the app. I guess I wasn't logged in. I thought I was logged in. You create a profile, log in to the Fishing Chaos app. Let's see if I'm logged in on this one. Boom. We're in. And I need to stop. I need to share this because this is imperative. Share screen, window. There it is right there. All right. We're into the Fishing Chaos app. These are featured. This is the most reputable online. They do all sorts of different stuff behind the scenes for not online tournaments. These are all the tournaments. St. Jude, Nationwide, BTL Bass Challenge, 100% of the $25 entry fee. The proceeds go to support St. Jude. Already over $1,500 raised, and this tournament doesn't start until March 1st. If you're going to fish anytime between March 1st and April 15th, if you're fishing other tournaments on the water, whatever, get a certified bump board. You know, it works all the way. Most guys have bump boards that go up to 18 inches. I got like a gator board that goes up to 25, golden rule, a catch board. You can order the board, have it sent to you. You're competing for prizes from Strike King, AFCO, Pro, Sunline. Willie Pete's actually is going to throw in a glide bait for some of those too. He texted me after yesterday's show to talk about it. And first, second, third, it's 45 days. It's your 5 longest fish over it. Jeff's already signed up for it. If you want to go every single day, you can go fish for 45 days. If you want to fish one day, it's just your 5 biggest public body of water, artificial lures. You take a photo of the fish on your phone properly with the code. And then there's a northern region, a southern region, a weekly big bass, which is a $25 gift code to AFCO. Thanks for AFCO for agreeing to do that. And then the big 3, California, Texas, Florida. The whole goal here is to bring the country together, whether you're in California, whether you're in Florida, whether you're at First Ice Out in Wisconsin or in Oklahoma, where you can fish pretty much 365. Know that you're donating to St. Jude. Have a chance to win some stuff. I would love to be able to say that BTL people fish for 45 days with that $25 donation and raise $10,000 for St. Jude. All of that money then is earmarked, goes directly to my team and Adam Bartuzek's team as we compete in the Dick Hiley St. Jude Bass Classic, which is the first week of May in Wabasha, Minnesota. Over $9 million in 26 years of that event have been raised. Just got my Love Bass Stop Cancer from St. Jude, that they actually are doing some stuff with Bassmaster. I don't know if you guys were able to see that at the first one there at Lake Gunnersville. So, Michael, any of your standard bump boards, if you go into the app, you can see the rules right here, and it talks about like what type of board and it is, how to measure it, approved measuring devices, Gator Grip, Golden Rule measuring boards, any of those Bass Pro Shops Academy catch boards, Cabela's, Check It Saw, Hog Trough. The only thing that you can't do is an expandable one, a tape measure, or a collapsible one. But I know that like that catch board is easy. When I was doing the first online tournament, I did that Scott Martin one. When you're trying to measure a large angry fish just on a straight bump board, like we're used to being like, oh yeah, it's 14 inches and then tossing it in the box, it goes to like the lowest, like next lowest quarter. So if you only have like 1/2 inch markings on your board and you catch like a 17 1/4, that goes in as a 17-inch fish. If you catch a 26-inch fish and your board only goes to 24, that goes in as a 24-inch fish. And those catch boards, the ones that like the kayak people use, that it like settles the fish down. I think I probably measured like 15 fish, 20 fish in the Scott Martin one that I did over 4 days. And I think I bled like 6 times. Like I had a dorsal fin go through my toe. I ended up with a dorsal fin in my calf. I cut my hand because like I'm trying to measure them and take the photo with the marker right there. This is as simple as you can get for the online tournaments. That's what I was trying to do. I had all this crazy stuff and we stripped it down. It's your region, your 5 biggest, 45 days at the end. There's a first place in each of the 3 divisions. The only thing that's weekly is Big Bass. You can see the standings. You can download the app. You can get comfortable with it. Tom Brubaker will be on a weekly basis during this. Like I said, if you can't fish till April, you can sign up. Only fish the last 15 days. If you want to fish all 45 days, if you want to fish one day, doesn't matter. So if anybody has any questions on that, been working on this for like 6 months. This is the first year that we've done it. Would love to see this be an annual thing. $25 entry fee, 100% of the entry fee minus the stripe fee, which is like the $3. So it'll be like $28 is donated to St. Jude Children's Hospital. And that money is kept aside in tickets. So at the end, we can say this is how much money that we as BTL listeners in the BTL for St. Jude tournament, and they had to go through St. Jude and get it, and then get St. Jude and Fishing Chaos hooked up. There's just a lot of back end stuff. And if you know me for the past couple of years, not always my strong suit, but it's super cool. I'm looking forward to it. I will probably, I will fish it just for the halibut. Unfortunately, the tournament that I'm fishing there is the 28th, so it doesn't count, but it kicks off on the 1st. There's Jeff. He said he ordered the catch board. They're yellow plastic, nice looking one, reasonably priced, has 1/4 inch marks on it too. Fishing with the bobber said in the Scott Martin challenge, he used a gator grip, only had 1 inch marks. He just got his catch board so he doesn't lose length on every catch. He said, I'm hoping that money goes towards improving your starting position in the St. Jude. Yeah, so this is the cool thing about that St. Jude tournament. So for the last 15 years, what they do is you're registered for the team, which actually I was sitting next to a kid who was 23 years old in the Open, and then he went out and absolutely blistered him at like 25 on the first day, 20 on the second. He's like, hey, man. I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? He's like, watched your St. Jude stuff, follow it. He's like, I called my buddy up. He's like, we're registered for the tournament. We'll see you at St. Jude. He's like, we had to get in on that. It looked so cool. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. But your takeoff position in that tournament is based on how much money your team raises. So if guys do jersey sales, pub crawls, T-shirts, hats, some people go to businesses for donations. So like Adam Bartuzik and I are raising money for our tournament. And then like if we raise the 3rd amount of money, our take-up position is number 3. If we raise the 26 amount of money, the take-up position is 26. So it's awesome because you get the competitive nature and all the money then goes to St. Jude. But with the first week of May out of Wisconsin, a good takeoff number is there. So you have that element of like, I want to raise the most money so we have a good takeoff position. But then you're like, hey, it all goes to the same place, whether you raise $2,000 in 90th place or $102,000 in first place. And then there's like a leaderboard for the team. So all this money goes to the St. Jude money goes to Adam Bartuzik and myself's team. So if you fish this tournament, like that'll be $25 that goes to the team. If you buy a hat or a jig from Juice's Jigs or Frankie, who are also fishing it, that goes to their team. If you buy a shirt from Matt Steffen, that goes to their team. If you donate to Miles Berghoff's team, that goes to his team. That's awesome. So I knew, now that we've got so many buddies and so many people that we know they're fishing this tournament, I wanted to kind of do something different, give you an opportunity to get on the water, get that tournament vibe and that tournament feeling. So, you do not get a shirt for it. We're also going to do the BTL, St. Jude t-shirts as well. But the prizes, you talk about the shirt. So the prizes are, $250 cash for each of the first place in each of the divisions, and then a $500 prize pack from the BTL sponsors. Second place is a $300 prize pack from the sponsors. Third place in each division is a $200 prize pack, and then a $25 AFCO gift code that you could just use immediately, as if each week you catch the longest bass in your division. If you have any other questions, Fishing Chaos does a great job of answering them. You can ask me if I don't know it. I can pass it on to Fishing Chaos, but that's how you can get on and sign up for that. We're shooting for 10K, and I would love to see someone like with like a 26, 27 inch bass, which is really long. Like when I started measuring them, I'd never like really fished anything on fork or anything like that where there's a slot. So like I caught some big bass in that one with Scott in the central region, and I'm like measuring it, and you're like, oh, that's a 22 1/4. That's a 20.5 inch bass. And then it's wild because like you'll catch like one of those fish that's like big head and really skinny, and usually you're like, oh, I just got screwed out of 2 pounds, like this should be a 6 pounder, but you put it on the board and it's like 22 3/4 inches. Doesn't matter how fat they are. It's all about length. So I'm done rambling on that for the day, but guess what I'll probably do tomorrow? Ramble about it some more. All right, this has been another edition of BTL Bass Talk Live tonight, 7 p.m. It's not a live show, but open water crappie. Then tomorrow morning, Pig South, record breaker. Never talked to the kid in my life. Seems really nice. Heard a lot of great things about him, and obviously you can catch bass. And then Frank Scalish live tomorrow night. We're back full bore after a week at the Opens. We'll talk to everyone later. See ya.